You see, my empaths, there must come a point when enough is enough. And my hope for you is that you do the work on yourself, because so many of us have overly invested in intimate relationships to complete us. Disney fooled us, and we have fantasies in our mind's eye of how love should be. And so we overly invest in those relationships, often at the expense of others. And when it crashes and burns, we may feel shamed, we may feel embarrassed, we may want to curl up in a ball and hide. And this fuels our depression. It fuels our sadness. But it's not the way. We all want our intimate relationships to work. There's nothing wrong with that. However, we have to be clear when it's not working. If you have articulated your thoughts, your emotions, your concerns, and yet you're not heard, or what you're left with is their side of the story. And at times, you can understand every person must be judged on their own merit. Listen to their story, their situation, take that into account. However, don't do that at the expense of self. Empaths, we're very good at excluding ourselves. Our empathy can often result in us living in other people's shoes, being hypersensitive to what their plight is. And often that may mean we ignore ourselves. We ignore our sadness. We ignore our frustrations, because this is their story and this is what their situation is. Nothing wrong with that. But if you find yourself time and time again preaching the same point, feeling ignored, feeling like you don't matter, and that this has been a perpetual cycle in your life, it takes us to crossroads where you have to make decisions. If you choose to continue down that road, where your thoughts and feelings are ignored, or you're told you're too soft, you're too this, you're too sensitive, you're too emotional, then it is what it is. It is not, everybody will not understand you. They will not get the depths of emotion that you have. We are deep feelers. Nothing wrong with that. And at that crossroads, you decide, stick with it, but you can't complain because we made a choice to stick with it. But if you choose to let it go, and trust me, I know how much it hurts, especially if you've done the work on yourself, because you may have thought you found the one, may have been very different. And that's always a beautiful thing, to feel that connection. But if within that, it feels like you're overgiving and there isn't much coming back, if you know your worth and you've looked after yourself through real self-care, not just getting nails and hair done, but through small actions, taking care of yourself, saying yes to the dress, saying yes to different experiences, then my hope is that you will learn that you are a person of value and of worth. And if somebody does not see that, it's not our duty to convince them. Our duty is to wear our heart guard and protect ourselves. And while it may hurt to let go, in the short term, in the long run, you're freed up from stagnation and stuckness and frustration, which is not great for your greatness. So my question to you, my dear empath crew, is what is keeping you stuck? And what choices do you have? Many of us are trapped by our egos, which means we want to hold on. We don't want to let go. We hope the fantasy in our mind's eye will become a reality. But we must focus on the here and now and what is present. And if the treatment you experience is not kind, is not compassionate, and if somebody is not open to hearing what your experience is and how best to work together to overcome, then my dear friend, you're at a crossroads. Bum, 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 meet me at the crossroads. You know the tune? And when you're at a crossroads, you have decisions to make. And it's really as simple as this. Do you accept the same old, same old? Or do you begin to tread a different path? Often on the new path, you will find yourself alone. And that can be very disheartening because you're like, hold on, I know I'm a person of worth, and why am I by myself again? This is the challenge you must face. This is the deepening of your self-awareness and your self-regard. I know it can be challenging. I know it can be difficult. But this is your test. Better to be alone than to be unhappy. Beautiful song by Karen White. Have a listen. Find it on YouTube. But we all have choices. Some we may not like. But decide you must. Because if you choose misery, and you become sad, bitter, and filled with resentment, you have no one to blame, Keely. You did it to yourself. And if you want joy, freedom, and clarity of mind, and peace in your mind, then you have choices to make. And often that may result in you being alone. And if you don't like who you are, then that will be a struggle. But maybe that's the battle. You can't save people. You can't make them see your worth. That's your duty. And only you can save yourself, empaths. Our journey is not easy. We sometimes assume that by being kind, loving, and a good-natured person, that people will get us. And it should be as easy as 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi. Often, that is simply not the case. We love deeply. We feel deeply. We're not superficial. And it's for you to respect that. It's for you to regard yourself. And as long as you don't, people will keep showing you how little and how your value is not valued. People can only treat us how we allow. Sometimes we have to make difficult choices that will yield gold in the long run. But the biggest challenge for many of us humans is we don't like the uncertainty. So we opt for the same old, same old. It's no wonder we become depressed. So my question is, what are you holding on to? Where are you stagnating in your life? What do you need to let go of? And if you fear being alone, then that is your greatest challenge, because there is nowhere to run. You will always be with you. If this video speaks to your situation and you know exactly what I'm talking about, love and relationships perpetually baffle you, and you struggle, it's okay. You're not alone. But you do have choices. You are master of your destiny. And if you choose to let go, do not sit at home listening to sad love songs. It will further your depression. Have a little to listen, like a Tony Braxton, and so on and so forth. Sometimes their pain speaks to our pain. Love an Adele. But limit that. Then go in your phone, reconnect with friends, apologize if you need to, rekindle relationships, set dates, get outfits, get out there, live your life. Open up yourself to newness, and you have no idea what you may experience. Life is yours, and every decision you make creates a way for your future. The question is, what do you actually truly want for your future? And are you willing to honor yourself to have a good life? Let your girl Key know. Peace.